Hi, hello, and welcome to Get Another Expat. This is episode 87, recording on March 7th, 2026. It's a lovely Saturday where the sun is shining. The temperature is the highest has ever been, 17 degrees, as we're all heading into World War III. Now, I have to be honest, today making this podcast feels like I'm the stroller, the baby stroller, and someone needs to keep pushing me. Maybe it's to counterbalance the beauty of the outdoors that my energy is so low, because on the winter ugly days I had more of a kick to bring an episode out. Now, I know you don't care about my internal motivation to run this episode or not. I just want to be upfront with you that in this one, I don't know how it will go. It's also one where I have almost zero notes. I know it may sound like a surprise that I have notes for my episodes. They are thoughts and stream of consciousness, but I do have a few things I want to cover. And today it's very much an open canvas. So, as always, we'll do this together. Now you will say, why do I care about all of this? I'm your listener, I'm not your therapist. I'm here to get entertained for 30 minutes or so while I do my chores. So do that, dance, little monkey. And I am gonna dance. Speaking of dancing monkeys, if you didn't see that little video of Punch the monkey that's getting bullied and harassed in some zoo somewhere in China, you're lucky. It became so viral, I guess everyone saw it. But what I was thinking on that is, how many more of these monkey teddy bears did IKEA sell? Because in that video, the little monkey has its own teddy bear monkey, like a plush toy, carrying it around. And that one is from IKEA. So here I am. If you go to googletrends.com, this is an official Google website where you can see any keyword, any search over time. So the searches for IKEA monkey are seeing a sharp rise at the end of February. So maybe if you're selling a product, this is a good idea. You could make your own very sentimental video. You could even do it with AI these days and just make sure that the item appears there. So I'm not saying that this was a marketing trick. I'm just finding it an interesting side effect. This is who I am, a business mind, always, even at the times of extreme emotions. Now, if all of this means nothing to you and you haven't seen the video of the little monkey that has no mother and is getting bullied around and goes to hug its toy every time, then I guess you're lucky and you live a more innocent life than me. But I am addicted to my phone. I think all of us are. But I think that I have started to realize a bit more what it does in my brain. Like, here's a thought experiment. How quickly do you grab your phone after you wake up? And how long do you stay checking things, scrolling things, and getting your morning brain dosage of dopamine or whatever it is that you're looking for? Because it is profoundly different waking up and having the first hour of your life without a phone compared to, grabbing your phone and checking messages, emails, Google Reels, news, apps, games, whatnot. Your brain fills up so quickly with information, with impressions, with emotions. And I think about it so often, and I still do it. Sometimes I give myself 20, 30 minutes, make a coffee first and not get into it. But this avalanche of information becoming somehow what's normal feels so brutal. And I'm talking especially about short clips, the reels, the TikToks. Like, you could scroll 10 times and expose yourself to views of a death, an interesting product, a joke, a pedophile, a food recipe, a school being blown up, someone showing you how to put a nail on the wall, another killing, and then a baby hack. What is left of a brain watching all of these? I don't know, but maybe this is what I'm struggling with today. I feel I got too much of the world dosage this morning to be able to effectively start this day. And it's always the dilemma. Do you stay informed? Do you stay up to date and try to make space for everything inside of you? Or can you even ignore it and live your day to day until it comes knocking on your door? And what is the middle ground? And I think this is what I was thinking. It's so annoying that so much of the internet now is social media and these 3, 4, 5 different apps everyone is using. And it's also crazy how difficult it is to run a project, to run a business, to run anything without a social media presence. Like no one would know you even exist. So you need to get exposed to this waterfall, to this tornado of information and emotions and respectless, non-stop banging on your head with visuals and sounds and information. It's almost like you're in a store and outside there is a storm, and the only way to interact with the world is to open the door and put your head out there, even though you will get wet, you will be hit in the face with everything the tornado is throwing around, you will be shouting only for your voice to, travel for 3 meters and disappear. I don't know, it feels brutal, some days more than others, and today is one of them. But before I get into these different apps, there are apps that are promising to make your phone be as minimal as possible and to eliminate all of the things that make these apps so enticing. Like it makes your whole phone black and white and you don't get any visual stimulation out of your different apps. And it asks you questions before letting you open the apps. And it feels like what you would do to an addict, but I've flirted with the idea a few times. The only thing stopping me is that it's an expensive app. You need to pay for it and gain back some of your headspace and time. But maybe it's a good idea. But yeah, back to you, dear listener. How long can you keep without checking your phone when there is not much going on? How long do you keep after waking up before checking what's happening? And do you have the courage to go in your phone settings and look into how much time you spend every day in the different apps? Do you get these notifications that the phone itself tries to tell you, hey, you've had X amount of time in this? I think it's a good time for today. Imagine where we need to be as a society for the device that literally wants to suck the soul out of you to be informing you that perhaps you need to take a break. And it's also the question, if you didn't have the phone, what would you do with this time? This is the question I have often for myself. What would I do? Would I read a book? Would I try to fix something in the house? Would I have some better thoughts for this podcast? What is the version of ourselves if we are not spending so much time in the world with the illusion that we are staying up to date or keep being informed? I said it another time, I think we need to get the newspaper back into being a thing, especially the morning one, like those movies in the US that a kid with a bicycle throws a newspaper in front of your door. Like that sounds like a good system. I don't need my phone, just throw that thing in my porch that I don't have, and I'll get to drink a coffee and read. And you see, with all of that, I've already spoken quite a bit of time. Let's call this pathetic self-pity, modern, digital, unescapable black hole an intro and say a few more things. Now, I have one thing to say. This should have been at the very beginning, so maybe I just move it there. But someone did review the podcast. I asked you 2 episodes ago to give a review on Spotify to make it go past the 20 reviews that it had. And I saw it since the previous time I recorded, but I forgot to say thank you. I don't know who you are, but I see you. So thank you for doing that one review, pushing them from 20 to 21. You heard me ask for it and you did it, and I am grateful for that. Now here's the only note I had put down during the week. I'm full on taking care of Leonidas in the week. I'm the primary caregiver. We started going to the kindergarten together, and there is a process to get the kids started. We do little by little every day. But I'll spare you the details of baby life and think for this podcast. I don't know for how many it resonates as well. And every day I make audio recordings to my girlfriend to let her know how the integration is going in the kindergarten. So the voice inside of me that wants to say these things has an audience of one for the time being. But the note I wrote down is sleeping like a baby. What does that even mean? And I have to say, I've been sleep deprived for some time. My sleep depth has been rising over the week. And I've been thinking about a restful sleep and all of this. And why do we say to sleep like a baby? I have a baby. Who thought of that expression? Because let me tell you, babies don't sleep so well. I slept like a baby. Oh, you did? You woke up screaming 8 times in the night? Did you wake up from your own fart or roll off the bed? Sleeping like a baby. Did you have to put a boob in your mouth to fall back asleep? So we need to change this expression. It's the babies don't sleep so well. Have you seen a student after a night out going to the bars and getting drunk and smoking and having a joint? Have you seen a person sleep like that? They're like dead. They cannot wake up. So I think for me, sleeping like a baby is overrated. How about I slept like I went clubbing and I don't have any adult responsibilities? That is a sleep I want to do. Do you know what stage in life I'm in? I'm at the stage of life where I seriously considered the instruction from the German government. It has been going on forever. This instruction exists even before the wars and everything. But every household in Germany is required to have emergency supplies. Now, the first time I learned about this was in 2019. One of the first times I was staying in Germany for 6 months on a work swap, like work needed me here. And I had a 6-month apartment, which was furnished, and the person living there was in Greece. Long story short, she has a huge pantry, like filled with water bottles and all sorts of things. And she had told me I can use anything in the apartment because she didn't know if she was ever coming back. So apparently, when she kept all of my deposit money, it was because I used her emergency pantry. I thought I was doing her a service. But this is an instruction that says that you should have in your household food and supplies for at least 10 days in case of a natural disaster, in case there is no electricity and no running water and all of this. Now, it must be pretty hard for some people to do it because the apartments are small and there is no space, and some people live in veges sharing different rooms. So how the hell are you supposed to stack supplies for 10 days when you don't have enough place to put your clothes in the bookcase? But nevertheless, this is what the German government is asking everyone to do. And I don't know how many people do it, but this weekend was the time we decided to do it. Now, you know me, I'm lazy. I would never, and I have a broken back. I would never do all of that myself. And I always like to believe that I stick it to the system. So here's the deal. We're using a supermarket chain that has an app, and the app allows you to also order at home. You can buy there, you can order at home. Why not tell the name? It's called Rewe. I don't care. So every time that you are buying things, you are collecting little cash back. It could be 20 cents or 30 cents from a product, and they have different products that give you this extra bonus. So it's a loyalty system, but it can be pretty rewarding over time. It's not that you're collecting points and the points give you, a cooking pot like it was for a Tupperware, like it was for my mom. It actually gives you money. So I like to understand this system and game it. Now, there are 2 interesting things about this app. One is that you collect money as you go. So if you're buying different products, they give you 10, 20, 30 cents or 10% of their price, or it doesn't really matter. And then it gives you coupons. And the coupons can give you 5 to 10% cash back on specific categories. So let me explain this. There is a coupon that gives you 10% back to anything that is bio. So any brand that is a bio product, at the end of that purchase, it will give you back 10% of the value. So if someone was to buy all of the bio stuff they need for the month or as much as you can in one go and activate that coupon, let's say I buy 50 euros of bio products and activate the coupon, I would get 5 euros back instantly. So you see how this is going. Now on top of that, they do a tiered approach. They have 3 different tiers. Every month, they see how much money you spent. And depending on that, they give you, again, a cashback percentage for the month that follows. So to make this understood, if you spend, up to 100 euros, they give you a 5% for your next purchase. If you spend up to 250 euros, they give you 10% on your next purchase. So there is a way to optimally use this app. In the month of February, we were buying as normal and we hit the amount that would give us 10% off for March. And when we have that 10% cashback is when we know we need to make a big order. The more we add in, the more money we're getting back. And there are a lot of different things you can stack. There is a lot of the baby food items. There is a lot of things that don't go bad. We love oat milk, so there's always, and it's expensive, so you can always stack some of those. And we know how to make a big order when we get that 10%, that I love to maximize what I can get out of it. So for March, we did a mega order to get back as much as possible. And in that order was the birth of the thought, maybe we actually do build an emergency stock for having food and water to last 10 days plus. And this is how it happened. I wouldn't do it from my good heart. I did it to also maximize how much money we are getting back. And we're getting back a lot of money. We spend a lot, but the cashback is the biggest one I've ever had. We made sure to give a really good tip to the person that was delivering, because if there's one thing I really feel bad is for anyone having to do these kinds of jobs where it's so much physical and there is stress and you need to hurry, and so many things could go wrong when you're carrying weight in this way up the stairs with twist movements. I'm someone with a pretty destroyed back, so I feel for them, and even if their backs are healthy, there might not be in the future because of this type of work. So how can I feel better about myself? I give them a big tip and then I wash off the guilt. Now, having delivered hundreds of euros of items, where many of them are bottled waters and cans and all of these things that you need to stock for a 10-day emergency stack for 3 people, because now we're 3 in this household. That was a lot of carrying, and it makes me feel so bad just standing there at the door, watching someone bring it up. And I think if I didn't have a herniated back, I would be actively helping. And one time, someone that was delivering asked me, hey, can you come help me? It's a lot and I'm tired. And of course I did. But the reason why we sometimes order to not have to carry very heavy things, because we're carrying a lot of weight with the baby and blah, blah, blah. So I did the most manly thing I could. Now that we had the biggest order ever made, I asked my girlfriend to be at the door. And I hid myself in a different room, and I told her, tell them, hey, my husband is taking care of the baby or something, because I felt so embarrassed to just open the door and sit there while someone does all this physical work without helping. But this did happen, and we did tip. So now we are surrounded by food and cans, and it awoke some Corona memories where everyone was stocking up. But I think I'll cut it here, and I will see you next week if the world is still here. I'll try to go enjoy a bit of this sunshine. I know this podcast wasn't as perhaps interesting as usual. It sounds more and more like a long audio update you're getting on your phones. But thanks for sticking in. Here's a random fact. Did you know that the sword of the Tutankhamun, the ancient Egyptian king and pharaoh, was made out of a meteorite? I've shared this before, but if you didn't know, now you know. He had a sword made out of a meteorite, and how cool must that be? Because the way I like to imagine it Tutankhamun was just chilling in his huge throne, and then he looked in the sky. He saw a meteor fall, a huge green line of fire behind it, and making impact somewhere. And then he said, "Go find that. It's a gift from the gods. They've sent me something." And then they find this massive iron ore bowl, and he says, "Okay, make me a weapon out of this." And maybe it didn't happen this way, but history reveals that the sword of Tutankhamun is made from an iron so rich that is not the composition we have on Earth. It was literally made from a meteorite. So now you know that, and I will end this episode here. I wish you prosperous, screen-free times, strong backs, 0 herniated discs, sunshine, love, warmth, and the mental fortitude to keep going in these very fucked up times. I'll see you next week. If you want to hear my voice in Greek, there was this Greek episode I made for the German show called Cosmo στα Ελληνικά. You can write this in Greeklish. Episode number 200 is Ερμής και ο Κόσμος, επεισόδιο 1, Βερολίνο, where I speak my mind about how it is to be in Berlin and Germany. I have been me, you have been you. Thanks and ciao!